The Omid and Kojo Show.
Welcome back to the Omid Kojo Show. It's me, Omid. Somewhere on the screen is Kojo, and somewhere else on the screen is the one and only Alex Hunter. And today we're going to be going through some would you rathers. Kojo can lead the way with that, and then we're just going to be answering some ridiculous topical would you rathers.
Yes, we are. We've had the legendary Alex Hunter on before, but we didn't find out enough about you, Alex. So today we're going to dive deep.
We want to know, would you rather?
Would you rather? I don't know. I'll make it too dirty, not straight away, but
immediately with the smut.
We'll get.
Would you rather dicks for fingers or finger for dick?
Yeah. Which one? All right.
You'd rather. What would you rather? Dick.
D-I-G?
No, dick, as in penis.
Dick for fingers. Or finger.
Or finger for your dick.
Yeah, I think the first option.
Wait, dicks for fingers? They're just like popping. They just kind of hang off.
Yeah. How about you guys?
You wouldn't really be able to get anything done.
Maybe the finger dick, because I feel like I could turn that into be the guy who has like a finger for a dick, and I could like make stuff with it, and it would be like one of those Facebook viral videos. Like this guy can paint with his finger penis, you know, something like that.
That is comedy gold.
I could be a superstar.
Yeah, I guess you'd have more options there.
Yeah, because with dick hands, it's like you can't work with kids.
You can't work with animals.
You're like a masseuse. It goes to court and like they can't stop you from being a masseuse just because you have this deformity, but you've got like dicks for fingers.
Oh my god.
You could wear gloves, but I mean they'd have to be like specially designed.
You could wear gloves.
It's a small price to pay though, because you could make a name for yourself being Harold Dickman.
There's definitely, you can do an OnlyFans for that, and there's definitely like a crowd you could get there.
Yeah.
Oh, I said we weren't going to start off dirty, and we've gone straight to like dicks fingers. The first topic. All right.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll keep it there because there's kids that watch. All right, next.
Alex Hunter, would you rather only be able to do tricks so nature just stops you from doing other ones? You're only allowed to do tricks where you use your hands on the floor, or you can only do tricks where you don't put your hands on the floor. Which would you choose?
Good question. Like I'm assuming you're talking about at my current skill level.
Yeah.
Great question. Probably hands.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Can I ask why?
Well, I can pretty much, no matter, unless I have like a wrist injury or shoulder, I can just do handstands all day and variations of handstands, and any ankle, knee injury, anything else, I can still just be on my hands.
Imagine how deep you could go if you couldn't do any normal tricks from this point forward, but you had to have a hand on the ground at all times in order for you to do tricks.
Or just at some point during the trick. Like your power could be like touchdown raise, pushing away, doing like twist, like different twisting variations. Touchdown raise, twist D-leg.
I feel like there's just a lot more options with your hands.
You
Anything
can finally be the first to do touchdown raising back out.
Touchdown raising back out.
Yeah.
There's kind of infinite options with both, though.
Yeah, I think no hands is harder, though.
Yeah.
You think it's harder?
It's more impact, definitely.
For impact, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Omid? What would you do?
I'd definitely go for no hands.
Yeah, you're a man in the air like me.
Yeah.
You are more like aerial tricks than me, though.
Yeah.
In general.
No, it does make sense. And the thing is as well, it's mainly because I don't know, for tricks where I put my hands on the ground, besides setups, I'd have to start tricking again. It's a whole new thing at that point. Whereas you're a lot more well versed in doing
Yeah.
tricks where you've got your hands on the ground and you're able to create really cool things currently. So it's like you've already got the mind for it. Whereas I feel like I don't.
Well, I wanted to ask Alex, with your tricks with your hands on the ground, have you always like just liked the look of tricks with your hands on the ground and wanted to be good at that, or did you kind of naturally just find that much easier and ended up just doing a lot of it?
Well, I started with tumbling. Like the first things I did were round off, front handspring, bunch of back handsprings in a row, stuff like that. I guess I was already just used to it. And I don't know, I guess over time I just realized I could do a lot with it. I don't know. Injuries, I had like a big ankle injury like 9 years ago. So recovering from that, I would just do everything off one foot. Hand, foot, hand. I don't know. And then it kind of just grew, I guess. Yeah. It's just easy. There's no impact, like we said.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess. I've
I
always
guess
so.
there is more of a longer game in there. I guess.
Yeah. Oh, hold on 1 second. Yeah. It's just you can do, not that you can't do whatever you want in the air. It's just like can't do a coffee grinder with no hands. Or maybe you can, but there's just so many like little micro movements or whatever that are just tougher to do without your hands.
Yeah, I guess technically you could always do more variations of stuff on your hands because you can kind of stop in the middle. Like no matter how high you get in a flip, you can never just like stop completely.
But I've thought about it. How dope would it be to do a backflip? You're all the way upside down, like head here, feet here, and then front flip in the air. You think that's gonna happen?
The way I could see it happening, some really flexible guy, they kind of take off and they can already see the ground. So you kind of jump straight upwards, but you just really bend your back. If they treated it like a jump, but they had a flexible enough back to like throw their head back and then pull it back in, maybe. I think it would work way different to a backflip. I think it would kind of be it, but not look like a backflip. I don't know. Like what Dom does on the trampoline. When when he's always bouncing up on his back and then looking over. Like I can imagine it kind of like that.
It would be cool to get it like straight like this though, and then front flip, or the opposite. So like a huge front flip, you're like this, and then back.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Possible. I think it's possible. Just no one's really tried it or dedicated it.
I guess I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of areas that, if we look at them now, especially within the world of tricking, it's still so much in its infancy that, like, in 40 years' time, there will have been so many people that have come in and just like fell in love with this one element and just pushed that as far as it can go. And then it's just going to get weirder and weirder to the point where when we look back, we're going to be like, what? Like, how? There was no way we thought that was going to happen. But then someone will end up doing like the double front version of that. So they do half a backflip and then do double front.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I think those things, most things will happen. It's like I remember arguing about double GMS before because I was saying that there's no way, it's not possible. But actually, I think double GMS could happen. Like if it was off axis, it was like GM, helicoptero, and then they drop the head down, swipe over again. You could do it. I think it could be done.
Yeah, like how Shosi does the double aerial thing.
Yeah. Just straight-legged version of that.
Yeah, there used to be a rumor, maybe like 10 years ago. Do you guys know who Master J is?
I've heard the name.
Yeah.
Master.
I don't know much about it.
Rumor that he did double aerial, but like straight legs, like one foot takeoff.
I love that there were a lot more rumors when
Free social
in the
media.
first few years of me doing tricks. I think in the era of Sesh, you know, being in the jungle and whatnot, and with his with his estranged brother.
His evil twin or something.
Stone.
What did you say?
He used to say he learned double back on cobblestone in Japan.
Yeah.
Imagine watching that.
He had to kill his best friend for the tassels.
Oh, it's so crazy.
It used to be a
Maybe,
book.
I don't know. The older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing everything that you think is too impossible to happen. I don't know. I feel like we have no idea what's possible anymore. Like, just as things are progressing, like even just thinking about people. I don't know. I've seen some of the people in Africa doing double backs on the sketchiest ground, and I'm like, well, there's no secret there. It's just that they've just done it as much as possible, and now they're doing double backs out of nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bunch of them. A few.
Yeah.
Africa up, dude. The tricking group. I'm seeing it all the time now. It's dope.
Yeah, I think they could take over in like 10 years from now. They could be the next Japan, just because they'll be jumping. They'll be
Same exact conversation the last.
We did. We
Yeah.
We're talking about Africans jumping last time as well.
We like talking about Africans jumping.
We do. We talk about it a lot. But I've just had an interesting thought. Okay, so you're 53 or whatever. Your body's fucked. You can't trick anymore. Give it 10, 20 years. You're in your 70s. VR gets to a point where you can feel like a young man, and the laws of physics apply, and you can trick in VR. It's not really a question, but what do you think about that? Because that's something that could actually happen. You think about how far gaming technology has come in the last 50 years. 50 years from now, we might actually have our best tricking sessions in VR when we're old. You ever think about that?
Yeah, but with the VRs, a lot of it's shooting and things like that. How do you make yourself feel like you're actually tricking?
Well, you have a full
50
body
years
suit.
from now, they might have a whole body suit thing that's responsive to your. I don't know. Maybe from small electric shocks, you can feel bits of your muscles can feel kind of impact and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, but 50 years though, that's a lot of technological development, you know?
There might be some slime that we can get into. So in everyone's house, there's just a big vat of slime. And in order for you to live your life, no one goes outside anymore.
We're all just cold up in us.
Everyone just gets in their slime, gets into the fetal position with this headset on, and then the slime kind of engulfs you, and then you live through the slime.
Oh. Everyone's scared of COVID 70.
Yeah, I just think a big part of it is the satisfaction of actually doing it. As fun as that is, kind of
No, but it could feel real. If it feels you can't tell the difference between real life, what we would consider real feelings and moving about now, and then transferring that over to a slightly different dimension. I don't know. I'm game.
You didn't actually do the movements. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't do it.
It might never be as hard as well. How could you ever make it as hard if you don't?
If you have that much control, then you can also make it as easy as possible. So that'd be pretty hectic.
Just doing these never-ending, insanely hard combos, just feeling those sensations.
I wonder if that would make you desensitized to it.
Well, maybe, because have you guys been on a roller coaster recently? Not that in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Because one thing I noticed is, so I didn't go to a theme park for a long period of time. It was 6 or 7 years. And the last time I'd been to a theme park was before I did any flips. And then I went back after tricking for years. And I found going upside down in rides, it didn't set off adrenaline in my body in the way it used to because I was so used to how it feels to go backwards over your head.
Really, I still love roller coasters, but
See, I enjoy it, but I didn't get the same thrill that I used to. Maybe it's just being an adult. Maybe it's that.
I think it's more that than the flips, to be honest, because I think the being that high up in the air, shit just changes, especially if you're moving fast. Because like, I think back to when I had been tricking for a few years, and I went to fucking Cedar Point. Have you been to Cedar Point, Alex?
no, but it's in Ohio.
Yeah, in Ohio. And I went on the craziest roller coasters I'd ever seen. Like they're like the biggest rides at Alton Towers, for example, Kojo.
Yeah.
They're 3 times bigger than that. And yeah, I was looking at it not too long ago. I'm gonna fact check that though. But yeah, I just remember it being the craziest feeling. And I was doing, pretty good shit at the time. I'd been tricking for like 4 or 5 years.
That's mad. What else flips desensitize you to, or what they could?
Maybe. Wait, what did you say?
I don't know. I got distracted by your mustache.
Yeah, I'm also getting distracted. Right, okay. So the biggest ride at Alton Towers is 30 meters.
Is it Oblivion?
Nah, the Smiler.
Oh.
What is 30 meters? I don't know what that is in feet.
Like
128 meters.
128 meters?
That's
That's
at Cedar Point. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
At Cedar Point, the top 4, 5 go 128 meters, 99, 94, 93, 93. And in feet, that's
nearly as tall as
dude, they're massive.
Nearly as big as the bloody pyramids.
419 feet.
Fucking hell. All right. Back off the topic of roller coasters and their size.
No, I found that out recently. I thought it was fascinating. They're so much bigger. I know you guys come here for the most premium roller coaster related content.
Oh yeah. We do like a playthrough of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Then the channel would take off.
Your hotel game where you like build your own hotels?
What Habbo?
I don't remember. Is it some computer?
Hotel Tycoon?
What's that?
Is it like Hotel Tycoon or something?
Maybe. This was like early 2000s that I remember.
Yeah, Habbo Hotel. That was the shit.
Yeah. I think that was it. I don't remember.
All the same game though, aren't they?
There's a lot of all of these.
Yeah.
Have you got any more Would You Rathers, Kojo? Or should we get back to dicks and hands?
I don't have any more tricking ones, but I do have a list of like general ones if you're interested.
Yeah.
All right.
Fire away, and I'll have a think about some tricking related ones.
Yeah, it might spark an idea for you. All right. We can go deep into the mind of Alex Hunter now. See these deep moral conundrums.
Conundrums is such a fantastic word. Alex, you should create a trick and call it the conundrum.
Conundrum?
Yeah.
What does conundrum mean again? I forget.
It's like a problem.
Yeah.
Problem that can be solved.
Okay. Conundrum.
That's the definition, but roughly that.
All right, I got one. Okay, so this links to what we were talking about before with the VR. Would you rather live in VR where you're all powerful, or live in the real world but you can't interact with anyone or anything?
What was the first one? You kind of got cut off.
Would you rather be in VR and you're like an all-powerful god, and it's like really high-tech VR, it's almost the same as real life, but not quite? Or would you rather live in the real world, but you can't interact with anything? You're like a ghost.
What do I get to do as a god?
That's anything you want.
Can you interact with people in the VR world?
You
make the rules, Kojo.
I can make the rules. Okay, you can interact. You can interact with NPCs.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
They're like AI. They're kind of it's like not quite there yet, the tech. So you can kind of have a conversation, but they get confused. It's like talking to Alexa or something, but maybe a bit more advanced.
I don't know. It sounds like it would get boring quickly.
It sounds like it'd be pretty terrible either way, to be honest. If I'm honest.
I feel like it'd be fun for a little bit and then get kind of boring.
Yeah, like when you put the cheat codes in all the way on GTA, it just ends up after a bit. It's like, okay, I'm done with this now.
Yeah, but the alternative is not talking to anyone in real life.
Yeah.
I might be okay with that.
I feel like you could adapt to it.
Can I communicate? I just can't physically talk.
You can only communicate through bookshelves, like in Interstellar.
I haven't seen Interstellar.
It's really bad form of communication. You're like moving dust and shit. It's useless. No one.
How does
Have you seen Interstellar?
No.
Oh, okay. You have to communicate via bookshelf, and it's really awkward. It seems like the most hassle.
But I get to live on Earth.
You get to live on Earth, yeah.
I think I would choose that.
Wow.
I think
What
I'd be
would you
okay.
choose, Kojo?
What would I choose?
Yeah.
Probably the living on Earth, because I could just live as kind of an observer. I could still be doing my tricks and whatnot, and I could just kind of watch people. I think I'd probably follow like a random person, and I'd just like follow their life for like a few weeks and just see what's up. Like, they're banging. I'm just in the corner of the bedroom. Oh,
Wait, are
you
Or
know,
can
You'd
I-
just be a peeping Kojo.
I just follow different people for like a month at a time and get all these different perspectives of like people's lives. I think that'd be interesting. That'd probably be the most interesting thing to do if you were like that, a ghost.
So you're a ghost. People can't see you.
No, because if they could see you but you can't interact, that'd be really weird. If you're just a ghost,
They see you.
they can't see you. Yeah, you're a ghost. You're an invisible ghost.
That could get really creepy.
Just
The cool
follow.
thing is that you could like sneak into airports and just fly anywhere you want for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what does it all mean if you've not got any company?
If you've not got any content to share, then what?
I mean, what's the point, though?
If you land the trick and nobody screams, did you land the trick?
Well, that's where it comes down to how much your intention when you do this. Why you're doing this. I was thinking
It would be great for training, but how would that work? Okay, so when you eat things, Kojo, you're the master of this world.
Okay.
Now. So,
I just read a sentence off the internet, right?
yeah, but you've got to expand. This is your
Okay.
world.
All right. Well,
You read a sentence and now you own a universe.
okay.
When you eat things, do they disappear? Are they part of your realm or are they part of the real realm?
Well, so when you eat things, it's like you put them in your mouth and then they just kind of fall through you. Like you can pick them up, but then they just fall through you. So it's really frustrating.
So you don't need to eat.
You're really hungry all the time.
Oh my god. You're just choosing between these two purgatories, these hellish worlds.
the God one then.
Yeah, that probably.
The God one at that point. I'm not trying to be hungry and incapable of communication. Everyone can see me, but I can't say anything to them.
You just walk around really hungry and sad, and you can't interact.
Oh my god.
All right. Next one. We're figuring out. We're solving the big problems here.
How about a tricky one? Back to a tricking one.
A trick one. Okay.
Okay, I've got the start of one. So
Go
you have to relearn everything to your opposite side, and you
Yeah.
could never do anything to your current side. So you got to essentially start tricks again, but it's all to the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
Or once a week, at any given moment, midway through a combo, your body will just stop functioning and you'll fall. you just immediately lock up and you can't move your body and you just fall midway through a combo.
Oh, dark side tricks. That's so dangerous. Halfway
Yeah.
through, you just fall on your head. Just like, that's so dangerous. So I already do a lot of my tricks the other way too.
I know, but you'd have to switch. So it's
Oh,
like
what?
anything
Every
that you
individual
currently
trick.
do to your left, you'd have to
Uh,
go do it to your right, and anything you do to your right, you'd have to do to your left.
Any given trick, I switch sides for what's
Yeah.
comfortable. I see. Yeah, I would do the dark side because the other one is just so dangerous.
Imagine seeing that at a gathering. Imagine if everybody had that, where their body just stops midway through a combo. Because over the course of a weekend, the chances of this thing just happening to a bunch of people, you'd see the most gnarly bails.
You would need like ambulance on gathering. It'd be dangerous.
Oh, that'd be hectic.
There's definitely like noob bails like that.
Where they just stop and when they land like on their butt.
Yeah, where
Think
a
double
backflip or
cork.
something.
Yeah.
Everything is
or
fine, and then freak out for no reason.
yeah.
I hate that. It stresses me out.
Yeah, watch it. I've seen that so many times.
I don't
Yeah.
even really like teaching backflip anymore, to be honest.
I don't mind unless they weigh like twice as much as me.
They have to be really ready for it. Can do it standing on trampoline, like obviously ready. I don't know.
Yo, give me a second.
Yeah.
He's off.
You're still in Portugal right now?
Yeah. It's been pretty sweet. I mean, it's just not as bad as the UK. Like they're still having a lockdown, and the gym closes this week. But yeah, it's better than the UK. You can go outside.
Yeah. You guys have a new strain, right?
Oh yeah, the super COVID. I was gonna go back for Christmas, but then that happened, so I had to stay in Portugal. It's my first Christmas by myself. It's very sad.
Yeah. Interesting.
I went round. I had Christmas dinner with these old Portuguese people. It was pretty sick. So my Portuguese
Did you know
teacher.
them? How'd you know them?
I have a Portuguese tutor because I'm learning Portuguese, and he invited me round because he loves me because I'm like his favorite student. He even said, "I'm inviting you into my heart," is what he said to me. He was like, "Oh, my friend,
My friend.
into my heart." He'd come to my home. And I went round to his house on Christmas Eve. And we drank a load of wine, ate a load of food. Me, him, and his elderly parents. It's sick.
Oh, so he's a younger guy.
No, he's 43.
Oh, middle aged. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a good time. That was my Christmas.
Nice. Yeah. My Christmas and New Year's have been pretty uneventful.
Yeah,
Nothing
what in Cali now?
What's that?
What are you allowed? Like, how locked down is it where you are?
Dude, that's so confusing, man. I don't know. Things are locked down, not locked down, shelter in place. Restaurants open, restaurants not open. This is open, but that's not open. California is the strictest of any of the states, I'm pretty sure. But
Yeah.
it's weird. We're the strictest, but I feel like we're having some of the most cases. But we're also the highest population. But I still feel like per capita, we're having some of the most cases with the strictest lockdown. It's so weird.
Not working great.
Over.
All right. I have. Oh fuck! What was it? I had a really good question. Omid, you say some stuff. I'm gonna think about this.
All right.
I got
Okay.
cooking up in this egg of mine.
All right. So I'm gonna go for another would you rather. Do you have any would you rather's actually, Alex? Have you got any in mind?
I wasn't thinking about it at all.
Okay.
I
just
got.
Okay,
I-
Kojo's got it. He's cracked it. He's cracked
I've
the puzzle.
remembered. Would you rather only ever be able to trick on a spring floor for the rest of your life? You just cannot trick on any other surface, or never be able to trick on the spring floor.
Oh well, I already mainly trick on spring floor. So
I'm
probably
thinking it's grass. Like there's something special about tricking in the sun on grass. It's really nice.
I do like tricking outside, but I don't know. I'm kind of spoiled now. I just want to trick in the gym, and I just don't want to go through any pain on like a non-spring floor surface. I know
Yeah.
it's good too. I don't know. I'm at the point where I just want to have like a soft cushion, nice spring floor.
It means you could never make an amazing sampler in beautiful locations. Huh?
I think I'm okay with that though.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think
I don't
that's a tough one because it's really fun training on spring floor. Obviously, it's easier and softer on your body. But I have a different. I know I really enjoy tricking on grass more in some ways, but then less in others. Like the actual tricks themselves, I can't do as hard things, obviously, and it's much harder. But I feel like everything you do on grass is more satisfying. Like even if I do something really basic, I feel like good about myself doing it, even if it's just a flash kick. Whereas in the gym, then I don't know. I don't feel as good about anything.
You know you're
I get that with the mentality side of it. It feels better mentally when I do stuff on grass, but almost always things feel better when I do them on the spring floor.
Easier.
physically. Yeah.
But what if you took on the challenge though? Because that'd be you're taking on the challenge of okay, tricking for me is something that happens on grass, and then you build up your level on grass. It's like a separate game in some ways.
I think I'd go for the any other surface. I'd never trick on spring floor again
Really?
because yeah,
Would you
I
just
think
like when it's sunny, just not being able to trick on grass would kill me. I love tricking on grass.
yeah, me too.
It's hard though. It does hurt you.
Yeah.
And also it means you always have to rely on something else until you can get to a point where you've got a spring floor. But I guess if you can never trick on anything other than the spring floor, you kind of make that one of well, for me, I'd make that one of my priorities. We've just been spoiled over the years being able to always train in a gym.
I got one. This is a tricky one. Would you rather have feet that were twice as big as normal feet, or hands that were half the size of normal hands?
Ooh, probably the hand one.
The tiny hands.
Oh, you can still trick.
Yeah.
Twice the feet that were twice the size. You just trip over
Like-
all the time. These clown feet.
You look ridiculous.
Yeah, I would definitely do the hand one.
Okay. How about this then? You have to have one half the size, and then the other. Well, not each thing. So like your hands are half the size, and your feet are twice the size, or switch it round. Which one would you have?
Wait, isn't that what we just said?
No. So you
have
both
half size feet.
Yeah.
Or
So you
double size hands.
yeah.
Wait, what is it?
I'd go for the double-sized hands. I'd have these huge, ridiculous hands that freak everyone out. Because if you had the half-sized feet, that would mess up your tricks as well.
Hmm.
And you could slap people with like your huge hand.
Yeah, but your hands are getting away in combos.
You could
It would-
sneak
it
up
would
behind
create-
people,
It
put your hand over their whole head, so your fingers come down to
Your hands would be like a real source of drag in tricks and stuff, though.
but you could kind of use it to help you.
Imagine how good you'd
that
be at
weight.
swimming.
Maybe it would help though with some stuff, swinging your arm with all that weight on the end. You know, because it'd be at the end of your arm, so it'd act as like, you know,
The size. I think you could trick better with half the size feet and huge hands than the other way around.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Could your
This is
ankles handle your weight with your feet twice this or half the size? I'm not sure.
Maybe it make it easier to do kicks and stuff because you wouldn't be dragging around those heavy feet. Because you got to think like the weight and size of your foot would probably make quite a big difference to how easily you can pull your leg across for kicks. Because the foot's right at the very end, so you know it's going to have more of an effect because it's further away from you. It like counts as heavier. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're holding a weight and you're holding it really far away, it's harder than if you hold it like in.
Right.
So I think it might make a big difference. Actually, it might be way easier for you to like get your leg round in kicks.
But it would take quite a lot of training in order to be able to land on the like half the surface area.
True, but I mean,
And there's less room for error with the landings and stuff.
just like if you put Shose's feet on my body.
That would be the funniest thing. And you just had what's his name? Eddie Hall's hands. Or like the mountain's hands.
Absolute freak.
Uh,
That's interesting though, thinking about how these different body part sizes would affect your tricks. What if you just had really short legs? Would you rather have your legs are like half the length or your arms are half the length?
you'd look. Oh wait, but so your legs are half the length, but your arms stay the same.
Yeah. So you like
So
Sandberg.
you're literally just dragging your knuckles across the ground.
Yeah.
Legs, because if your arms are half the size, imagine a TD raise, your like head might hit the ground because your arm is about here.
Or you could get way closer to the ground. You could do it way lower, get even more power.
Thinking.
I mean, maybe. I'm trying to
Well,
think
no,
how
because
that would...
half the size would
Maybe
just be
not.
the
You would
elbow,
go
so
for...
it's the equivalent of just doing an elbow touchdown raise.
True. No, I was just thinking, yeah, you wouldn't go for as big a range, so you get less power. Yeah.
Little arms. I don't think it would be that much of a disadvantage.
You just look ridiculous.
Yeah. You like get the most power out of anyone.
Like look at these half-length arms, but you still have like an elbow. Like really tiny arms with regular hands.
Regular hands, regular legs. I think you'd look crazier if you had half the size legs, but with arms the same size.
I mean,
because your arms are just be moving around like this.
Half the size is a lot. Like if it was just an extra 50%, like I don't know. Yeah, half the size is a lot. If it was like 3/4, then it wouldn't be so major. I feel like Sando has like an extra quarter on his arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems to help.
It does seem to help.
You could do all sorts with those arms.
Sando's incredible.
Yeah.
I miss seeing him just kind of moving.
Gathering back, maybe, I don't know. I don't even know if it will happen in 2021.
Maybe 2023. Who knows?
Hooked?
Who knows?
I don't know. Nothing makes sense anymore. Everything's crazy.
Yeah.
The UK's back into like a full national lockdown.
So bars, restaurants, gyms.
Everything's closed. All the gyms.
Basically like it was in April or May.
Yeah. It's kind of the same as that.
What's the vaccine rollout there like in the UK?
It seems as though they've been giving out millions of vaccines, but no one's got it. No one's got the vaccine, but they've given millions to people.
The frontline workers, are they not getting it?
Yeah. They're doing it by like age and the healthcare workers and stuff like that. Yeah, I do know one person who's had it because he's a nurse. But he's just been saying how mental it is in the hospital at the moment. Like they're just
a lot of people or what?
Yeah, a lot of people. And obviously it's taken a big hit because if anybody has any symptoms, then they can't go into work or whatever. And there's quite a few people that will, have symptoms and then get tested. And yeah, it's just everything's a mess.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that there's so much misinformation and distrust, and more than half people here don't want to take it. And I don't know. There has to be a certain amount before it makes some kind of difference. And
well, surely though, that's kind of it's because a lot of the people that don't trust it, by the time they've got through the half that do trust it, that'll probably sway quite a few people being like, oh, well, everyone else is fine, so fuck it.
all the politicians are taking it on TV.
Wow.
Taking it, I don't know. I don't know, man. If this thing can end, or be drastically cut down without me having to take it, I'd be happy. I don't distrust it per se, but if this thing can get to a safe level or end without me taking it.
Yeah, you don't need to. Have you had any tests yet for corona?
Yeah, I got tested in beginning of July and I was negative. But also, like what I just said, if everyone thought that way, then nobody would take it too.
Yeah. I got a test next week. I'm going to Mexico.
Going to Mexico.
I'm going to Mexico. Yeah. To meet Scar.
Oh, cool. Have you met her before?
It feels like I haven't. It's been 7 months because of the lockdown.
7 months? Where are you going?
We're going to Cancun.
Cancun, damn. I've been to Puerto Vallarta. It's on the other side.
What was it like? I don't know anything about Mexico really.
It's kind of like a tourist town, but it still had the cultural vibes and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Must be exciting.
Yeah, well, I just feel like, I don't know, I'm just worried that it's gonna get cancelled for some reason.
There'll be like a meteor hit the Earth or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Some kind of
When you get there?
Huh?
You have to clean when you get there?
No, you don't in Mexico. Mexico don't give a fuck. You just do whatever. They're like, bring you COVID. Like, we hope you have it. They don't.
They're trying to collect all the different strains like Pokemon cards.
But you have to show a negative COVID test?
I have to show a negative COVID test because I'm flying through Spain. But if I wasn't flying through Spain, then you don't even need that to get into Mexico.
What? Really?
Yeah. It's one of the most open countries.
Surprising. So they would just allow people that might have COVID?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. Everyone does it differently. I don't know. Like in some parts of America, is like back to normal. Like been back to normal.
Well, it seems like that with Colorado. Well, I think it's closed now, though, isn't it? But just seeing footage from Colorado, it just seems like it's
like nothing's going on.
Yeah, there's like 30 people, sesh, going in.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that. I'm like, I feel like a lot of you kids live with their parents. I don't know. Everywhere's different. I think maybe they do a temperature check, but it doesn't. I don't think that shows much.
It just shows whether it's hot or cold outside.
Right.
I don't know. The Midwest seems like they're just kind of back to normal as well, somewhat as well.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, some of the strictest places are having the most numbers, so I don't really know the answer. I'm kind of leaning towards the opinion of the most vulnerable maybe should have just stayed home from the start, and if you live with someone vulnerable, maybe you as well, and otherwise everything else, back to business. I'm kind of leaning towards that now more.
Yeah. Funny old world, eh? Right, okay. Would you rather have to deal with this COVID situation, or we have a battle royale with a weird alien species that we know nothing about?
Yeah.
And then COVID's gone.
How many of these aliens are there?
the same amount as humans.
How big are they?
Roughly the same size, but we don't know what they have. And we don't know how strong they are.
Do they have shells?
What do you mean shells?
Do they have a shell? Do the aliens have a shell?
No, they're meaty, but they have weapons and they can move quite fast.
How many are there?
The same amount of as humans.
And they want to do us harm.
Yes.
To be honest, I think I'd take the COVID over 7.4 billion aliens with weapons.
So there's 6 billion aliens with weapons that want to do us harm.
And they're really fast.
Yeah, I would take what's going on right now for that.
Oh,
Good job, Omid. That one really put things into perspective.
that's what we're here for, eh? It's not all that bad. It could happen. Soon.
Yeah.
Who knows? Do you think in our lifetime we will see another species of, like, what we would call an alien? It comes from a whole other planet.
I think we won't see. I don't think we'll see it on planet Earth. I think maybe like 30, 40 years from now, maybe they'll spot some shit out in space.
I feel like it'll just be like a germ, though.
Yeah.
If we're looking for them, we're probably just going to end up finding a cell that's really exciting.
Because we can't go very far, can we?
Well, not currently, no.
We can't go travel fast enough.
What do you think of all those abduction stories?
I think it's probably mostly because okay, you can guarantee that like 9 out of 10 of them are going to be complete bullshit. Because even if someone was abducted, no way is that many people getting abducted. There'd be evidence for it. Like you'd be able to account for it. There's so much CCTV everywhere. Like you'd find something. Like you'd be able to show that they were in this place and then they were gone.
Okay,
Well,
but
Did you hear the story of the guy? I think it was in Arizona or New Mexico, like the 70s. Him and his friends are like in the woods. They see like some object in the sky. I think there's a movie called Eye in the Sky based off of it. You know what I'm talking about? And the friend goes out there and they see his body like go up and then it just like falls to the ground. They drive off and then he has this whole story of how he got like sucked up into there afterward and he was there for like a week.
Okay. Well, was he injured from falling to the ground?
Trying to remember.
Was there any signs on his body or anything of it happening?
they probably repaired him. I know how these stories go.
Yeah. It's hard to know what could be. I mean, for all we know, it could be someone's dream. Right? How would you know the difference?
Yeah.
Or someone tripping on acid or something like.
But you could be tripping and not even know you've taken anything. Like, that's just as possible. So
Yeah.
you get spiked, or it's just somehow you end up when you didn't expect it. Like, I feel like that explains some of them, and just people with mental problems as well.
Or just you go to sleep one night and you think you got abducted, and how would you know it's not a dream? You really wouldn't know.
Well, if you were sleepwalking, for example, as well, if you're sleepwalking and then you end up in a crazy situation where you're outside your house and then you've had this super surreal dream that felt like it was happening, and then you're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't know what to believe.
I don't know though. I don't know if aliens have been to Earth. To be honest, maybe.
What would the interest be?
Huh?
I guess resources, but
Yeah, but there's so many planets out there with almost infinite resources, that don't even have any life on. I don't know. I guess they'd maybe come to research. I think that would probably be the main reason if they were going to come. So I'm basing that off our human understanding,
Yeah.
They're thinking differently, probably.
So fingers crossed, there's no really fast 7 billion aliens coming after us anytime soon.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. I don't know what we do in that situation.
I mean, it's 2021, you know.
It could happen. This massive ship.
Yeah.
It's like way bigger than planet Earth, and it just kind of has this. I don't know. Has all these aliens just filing off it.
What would you guys do actually? Here's okay. What if in all major cities around the world, huge spaceships just appear?
So Independence Day, basically, the
You
movie.
know, yeah, like Independence Day. They're here to invade. What do you do on a personal level? Like, what are you gonna do?
I'd probably just drink a lot.
Really drunk to deal with what's going on. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that's the best answer.
I've been playing banjo a lot. I might get my banjo out.
Imagine a new alien species that wants to harm us, greeted by Alex playing the banjo.
I'd get some whiskey and play banjo probably. Because it'd be over.
I was thinking of a much darker route, to be honest. Much darker than banjo, anyway. I was thinking, like, well, if I could get to the countryside, maybe the Portuguese mountains, and then I could like steal someone's house, I'd maybe have to murder them.
Yeah, and everybody would be trying to do that.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Other people would be
I
out
don't
to
know.
the
I
mountains.
feel like you're probably just better off just waiting it out, seeing what happens. Like if we don't know, if all of a sudden right now,
True.
if all of a sudden there were just spaceships hovering over all the major cities in the world, and we didn't know what the fuck was going on, it would be bedlam. Everyone would go absolutely berserk. I feel like you're better off. Huh?
What if they're like blowing shit up? Then it's like you gotta take some action, you know.
Yeah,
Gotta
but
get
where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do?
go
What
to
action?
Madeira.
How are you gonna get there?
I don't know.
Everyone's going to be doing the same thing. I feel like the only way you could actually travel would be by foot. And even then, there's going to be everyone on the planet outside, well, most of the people on the planet outside their houses trying to get elsewhere.
I'd probably steal a motorbike.
You probably still won't be able to get anywhere. Because there'll be people on all the pavements, there'll be cars on all the roads.
Depending on where you live. If you live in a city, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You just wait it out, get really drunk, and just keep watching the TV. Fuck it.
Wait, it's all blow over.
Yeah. Lay down for a bit. Probably find someone to try and, I don't know, build the biggest human pyramid I could. just me and as many people as I can get together to build a human pyramid, and then maybe hide at the top of it.
Closer to the aircrafts?
Yes.
That's the worst idea I've ever heard.
The worst possible thing to do.
You don't even need aliens. You could die just by falling off. Any plan where you can, you don't even need the aliens to kill you, and you could die.
Yeah, but that's everything at that time though, because everyone's going to be trying to do mental things.
All right. Well, one last big question. A slightly different topic, but still, it's about life. Still, Alex, do you want children? Do you want a baby? Do you want a little baby, Alexander?
Do I want one?
Yeah.
Why you selling?
Not at the moment.
Well, in the future.
In the future. Not in the past.
Not in the past. We all know what happened with that one.
I think so. Yeah.
This is like one of the weirdest proposals of joint fatherhood I've ever seen.
You want to have a baby with me?
Something.
We adopt.
Did you want to do something together?
I mean, we could.
Can I get involved?
We could train it up. We could be like a trio of dads. Think of the skills the baby could have.
It could learn woodwork. It could make a table for us.
I'm thinking more useless flips. It would just learn a load of useless flips from its three dads.
I'm thinking we take it because that's too predictable. I feel like we take it down the craftsmanship route.
All right.
Get deep into like glass blowing or something.
It becomes a diligent carpenter. Gets all its measurements right.
It was just bored, and within 3 weeks, it always has a pencil behind its ear.
Yeah.
What about you, Kojo? How many children are you gonna have?
I don't know. It depends how the first one goes, doesn't it? Well,
now, the first one's the test.
I'm going to train him up. I've seen it. The whole story. I don't know. Maybe it won't happen like this, but I think I'm going to have the greatest tricker of all time. Will be my child. I'm the perfect person for that to happen with. When you think about it, because deep into the tricking coaching, deep into the technique side of things, access to all the information I could dream of on training. I'm setting myself up to have a job I can do from home, so I'm always present. I want to have a home spring floor, so perfect training environment. My woman's a tricker, so she's on board. Like I think all the things align, and I think I'd create the best tricker ever.
Well, you know how everything in life is always 10 times harder, 10 times more problematic, and it never, ever, ever goes to plan, even if you've got everything in place for it to work perfectly.
True. Yeah, they might just want to play FIFA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might
just what?
Well, you can have all the perfect environments, and sometimes kids just aren't that into it too.
See, but I think part of it's like mindset as well. I feel like I could instill a really good mindset because my job is instilling good mindsets. Like I put a lot of effort into learning how to do that.
Would you teach them as soon as they can walk? What would be your
yeah, like
be the
as
plan?
they were learning to walk, I'd already be getting them like straight. So I try and make it as much of a game as possible. Like it's all just a game. We play game like when I'm playing games with the kids. The game would kind of be training for movement stuff in general, but we're just playing games.
Kojo's just got this 3-year-old doing helicopter arrows in the woods.
I try and figure out how to turn all training into game form for the early years. Like just bouncing on the trampoline as well. Just being like, see how high you can bounce, just to get used to bouncing and controlling your body. Bounce on your back as many times as you can. You know, I don't know. I don't have it all planned out yet, but I have a rough idea.
You just don't want your kid to be sick of it by the time they're 3.
That's the thing. Well, that's why you got to make it fun, because people. This is always the go-to. This is when most people I tell, they always think of like Michael Jackson's parents or something. They always think that the parent has to be really mean and make the kid hate it for the kid to be really good. And I've seen the parents who are like that, and their kids aren't normally even the best ones. Like you don't. I think you just have to kind of get them to try their best and take it seriously, but also make it fun. I think making it fun is a huge part of it. Like you don't get good at something unless you find it fun. So I wouldn't make it like school in any way.
I do agree with you, but I think there's still a pretty big element of it being random as to what they enjoy.
I don't know if it is. There's just so many examples of people who become the best at things. Lots of the time, it's kind of comes from their parents, but then they take it on. Like
true.
But it's what your parents tell you to do if you like hate your parents or if they've made it into a horrible thing. If it's like a really fun thing, like my mom, because I told her about this, and she was like, "Well, we got you doing violin and like that. Look how that went." Like, because I just didn't want to do it and I quit. And I was like, "Well, was I inspired? Did you ever show me an incredible violinist?" And it's like, no, I'd never seen someone play a violin great. So obviously, I'm not going to be inspired to get good at playing violin. I'd show them loads of amazing tricking and all these fun. You know how much fun you can have with tricking. I'd make it a fun, exciting thing that you want to do. I wouldn't just be like, do this, do that. I mean, it's like a workout. I'd make it into a fun thing.
Show them why it would be cool for them to get good at it.
Yeah. But in the book that I read about this, it's like this guy wanted to prove this theory that talent doesn't really exist. There's all about how much you practice and how well. So he got his 3 daughters to play chess from a really young age, He trained all of them, like try to get on playing chess every day. His three daughters all became chess world champions. All three of them became three of the best chess players of all time because they weren't just born naturally gifted in chess. This dude decided before they were born that he was going to get them to be great at chess. And they still all, I know at least one of them, like, yeah, I remember one of them still works in like the chess field, like they have a chess place and all that. So I don't know. It's like the parents got them to love that, but in a way where they don't resent the parents for it. They just appreciate the chess. So I think it's you got to like ignite the spark in the kid rather than just forcing them to do it as a strict thing.
Was the dad like a chess champion or something?
No, he just read on
He
it.
just picked a random thing.
He did. He did. He was a scientist. I mean, that's why he's doing this experiment. But he just read up on chess and like helped him along the way. He probably got on lessons with people too and all that. But it's like look at Michael Guthrie. Like his parents obviously involved in martial arts, so it's a slight variation from it. But it's like it wasn't completely random. He grew up having parents who own a martial arts dojo. It's like he was around that world from a young age, and it didn't
Yeah.
make.
I've also seen so many kids now who, when they were like 8, 9, 10, I was like, that's the one, like back in the day, and just nothing.
Well, I've also known like when I was younger, I played a lot of football, and even though people loved football and they would train a lot, if they were, I don't know, sometimes they would just kind of deviate from it because they weren't like if you're not getting the results or anything like that, and then they just kind of lose interest in it, like when they're getting a little bit older. So that's always been my thought with it, where it seems as though they might enjoy it, but they might also just kind of grab because they're going to try other things as well. They might just gravitate more so towards something else.
I try and bring them up in a way where they understood that they could be incredible at tricks, but also really good at other stuff too. Like there's a lot of hours in the day you could take on multiple other sports, especially as a kid with how fast their bodies regenerate and how much energy they have. You don't need to trick that good to be, I mean, that much to be incredibly good. If you're tricking efficiently and, have an idea on technique and progressions, the kid could be tricking twice a week, 2 hours a pop, and they could be really, really good. And there's so much time to do other stuff as well.
Yeah.
That is why sometimes I doubt now how long they'll last. 'Cause I'm like, oh, this kid is 7 or 8. They have so much time to like decide doing this, to decide if they want to do something else. Like, I almost think like it'd be crazy if they're still doing this by the time they're like in their late teens because they're so young.
But then I guess for the people that actually do love it and are getting the results, because I think I don't know, if you haven't got because you may have the perfect facilities as an example. You may have all of those, all the access you need to facilities and whatnot. But if you don't necessarily have the right information, you don't get the results, then it's a lot easier for you to sway.
It's the mindset that stops people. I mean, like Alex said, when you've seen kids who are like pretty good and you think they're going to be the next best and then they just stop. Like I feel like the real potential is the mindset. If you see a kid with a really strong mindset, that's a better tell than like how good they are at flips. Like when we first saw Johan, do you remember that, Omid?
Yeah.
I remember first seeing Johan, he was trying cart dub swing and like slamming again. I think he was trying dub, but he was like miles off because he wasn't that good at cart dub. But I do remember every day of the gathering, he did way more tricks than every single other person there. And you could tell and he was like super focused, trying his best the whole time. He was like, you could tell that this kid was taking it so seriously and trying so hard. You could tell he was going to get really good, even though he wasn't like talented with flips, really.
I think that's a big thing. First one in, last one out. I mean, I was that person a lot in the beginning. Sometimes now, still, if it's a good session, first one in, last one. Like, it's about a lot of it is just the reps. I mean, sometimes honestly, this stuff isn't that much fun. Sometimes I'm in the gym just like, this is such a grind.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just straight grinding. Like, yeah, I don't know.
I
I
don't know.
guess what's that?
All right. Well, what are you saying?
I don't remember.
Oh, I was just gonna say, for me with repping stuff out, it's like I feel like I'm normally just for the first half of the session, I'm doing as many tricks as I can to try and just get into the flow state where I'm actually having fun and I'm really focused and everything works. And yeah, that like I can't do good tricks unless I'm in that state. It's crazy what the level difference is. It's like if I'm really just in the session focused, then I can. It's like I'm a completely different person. I think this is the difference between probably why I'm terrible at battles because
Yeah.
battle trickers maybe they get into that state when they're in the battle, but for me it's like the complete opposite. Like the less people are around, the easier it is for me to enter that state. If I have my own music, the more chill the environment is, the easier it is for me to get into that focused state. So battles are the opposite. But my level is like 5 years ahead when I'm focused to when I'm like just trying to do some stuff.
Do you guys have certain tricks that you always like do first, or you do like a certain trick where you know like, oh, okay, I'm feeling good, or oh, it's gonna go this way, or oh, I know I could do this now because I just did that. Like very first things you do. Do you have rituals or?
Um, I have. It's not like the same every time, but I have similar tricks that I warm up with. Like I normally try and do some really powerful losers starting out in the session, and I try and see how well I can do them, and I can normally get a gauge of how like powerful I'm feeling that day by how easily I can lose her. So yeah, I guess I'd use that. But for me, it's like talking about getting into that flow state. That makes a way bigger difference than how tired my body is. Like my body can be wrecked, but if I can get to that place, then I could do some of my best ever tricks while I'm really tired. Whereas I can be completely fresh and rested. Like yesterday, I was fresh and rested, warmed up for about 35 minutes, starting to feel good, I wanted to do a bit of power stuff. I did a triple cork. I was feeling good. And then the gymnast came on.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
you got a little.
he froze. Is he still frozen?
All right. Well, do you want to answer the question until he comes back?
Sure. Oh wait, he's back.
I'm back. It's because my phone's run out of battery, so I'm on the Wi-Fi.
Oh,
You're talking about
But
come in.
yeah, I was saying the gymnast came and started doing forward rolls and round-offs and took up like nearly the whole floor. And then I had like a tiny space to train. Well, I had like half a lane to train in. And from there, it wasn't just that I had like barely any space. My tricks were just way, way worse because my body felt good, but it just completely snapped me out of that focused state. And then I just trick way worse. So it wasn't like my body was exactly the same, but just that thing happening can like completely ruin my session. And I find how focused I can get makes a bigger impact on my session than how good my body feels for me.
Yeah, I still don't know the exact formula after all these years. You know,
Mm.
it's pretty weird because it'll be like a few sessions in a row of like that flow state and kind of just like building on the last tricks and then just goes right back to where it was before. And I still haven't figured it out after all these years. Maybe there isn't an exact formula. Maybe that's the thing.
yeah. I think it's so much for me, especially. Also, his big grin. He's frozen with an enormous grin.
Sad. He loves it.
Yeah. It's for me. It's so circumstantial. Like it depends on so many different variables that it's almost like you have to. There's a rough formula, but you have to constantly adapt it the
Yeah,
whole time. I keep thinking he's moving, and then I look and he's not, and he's just got this enormous grin.
sorry, but you were saying.
Yeah, I think a huge part of it is just being able to adapt to each session and having like a rough formula.
Go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back. He's moving
I've
again.
been here the whole time.
You
Oh,
could hear us.
I can hear you laughing at my face.
You were
You were-
just stuck on the screen, like.
You were really happy.
The biggest grin. Oh,
So
he's
are you guys
frozen again.
are you guys pretty much always able to save your sessions in the sense of like, all right, that wasn't a failure, or are you always able to save it so that like it was satisfying? He's frozen again. But yeah, save it in a way that it's still satisfying. Do you have like a method for that, or?
Yeah, I just have to. I have to bring it right back down to just the enjoyment of any old movement. He looks like he's having the best time right now.
The enjoyment of any movement, you said.
Yeah. So it could be the most basic shit, but as long as if I can boil it down to not being in pain and just being able to enjoy the simplistic tricks where I just get to really flow in and out of them. It could just be one trick over and over again, or it could be a couple of tricks, but it's just being able to move my body freely without any kind of, I don't know, any restrictions. That's when I can turn any session around. But if I'm in pain, for example, and I can't do any tricks without that pain, that's when the session's not really recoverable for me.
Yeah. So
What about you?
hard times. Yeah. Well, finding the balance of you know, not judging too much by how something looks, but also having fun. I don't know. It's hard to word, but having fun without judging too much how something looks, I guess.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Just like taking the pressure off, because I found that saves sessions for me. I'll like, if I'm feeling really shit, I'll just be like, okay, no pressure. I'm just gonna drill like 2 single tricks that need a lot of work, and I'm just gonna practice them, and then have a proper cool down. And I'm like, well, I practiced those tricks that needed work, had a good cool down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think pressure ruins sessions.
And on that note, perfect segue to wrapping up the show. We've been talking for like an hour and a half, I think, roughly.
Immense. But yeah, thanks anyone who joined us, anyone who listened to this whole thing. Well done.
And thank you, Alex, for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Alex. It's always good.